Hey, good evening everyone. Brian Heilig here, and we are going to talk about your story. What is your story around money? I'm going to share with you mine, and I've been just talking with a lot of people lately where if we really dig down and deep and look at how people are dealing with money right now, typically is from a past event, okay? So that, and then we create this story around it. So I'm going to explain exactly what I'm talking about, and we're going to just go from there. And I would love to hear when you really think about your money story. I'd love to hear in the comments what you're going to, put down, share. What did you discover? All of that good stuff, okay? So again, hope you're all doing well. Here we go. Money Monday, what's your money story? So check this out. I must have been about 6 or 7 years old, and I grew up behind a lake, and I loved to fish. It was just, what you do. And I had a friend who was older than me. He's probably 12 or 13 at the time, and he had all these lures, these fishing lures, and they were just with all these colors and bright greens and yellows and blues and really cool stuff, right? And I wanted them so bad, and he said, I'll sell them to you. And remember, I'm like 6. And I had no money, I had no job, right? But I wanted those lures so bad. So I said, okay, how much? And he would tell me like $1 or 50 cents or whatever. And I'm like, well, what is that? He's like 1 quarter or 2 quarters, 3 quarters, 4 quarters, something like that. I'm like, oh, I know, I got it. Okay, no problem. So I went back to my house, right? Now my grandparents raised me, and my dad raised me, but we were living with my grandparents at the time, so it was like my grandma and grandpa's house that we were living in. And so I'm 6 or 7 years old. I sneak upstairs, and I remember my grandpa puts his change, in particular his quarters, in his nightstand, right? So, there's a whole bunch of quarters. I only need 2 or 3 or 4. So I grabbed a bunch of them, and I got all these new lures, right? I gave the kid my grandpa's quarters, and I had these new lures, and it was amazing. Well, pretty soon I kept buying more and more lures, right? And then all of a sudden the quarters were gone. Man, no more lures for me. Oh well. But then something happened. Brian! I'm like, what? What happened to your grandfather's quarters? I don't know, right? This whole thing, well, obviously, I definitely got in trouble, but here's the thing. They were not just any quarters. My grandpa specifically saved a certain kind of quarter that he would put in his nightstand, in his little, bureau or whatever it is. And those are the quarters that I took that, he's been saving for years and years. So they were gone, right? Well, what happened was I got in big trouble. I felt ashamed, embarrassed. I got duped by the older kid. The whole thing, right? And I didn't know in that moment exactly what was happening. But later in life, as I discovered when I looked back at that incident, what I made it mean, my money story, is that I cannot be trusted with money. I'm no good with it. I can't be trusted with it. It slips through my hands. I get in trouble with it, like all of that. So I have that mentality going through life, and lo and behold, money starts slipping through my fingers, and I'm not good with it. I shouldn't have it, things like that, right? So could you imagine going through your whole life and really realizing that the 6-year-old you, so 6-year-old Brian, was running how I was dealing with money in my 20s and 30s. Can you imagine? So I let that story go, right? I definitely can be trusted with money. I'm a good custodian of my money, right? And that changed everything for me. So what I urge you guys to do is take a minute, take a step back, if you will, and go back in time. There's going to be some incident when you were very young that you remember around money, and then think back to that time at what you were telling yourself about it, about the situation, and then bam, that was locked in your brain, and see if that correlates to how you're dealing with money, right? Anyway, what is your money story? I would love to hear it. If you want to kind of talk about it, talk through it, and kind of do a little coaching around it, please let me know. Reach out to me and we can kind of dissect that a little bit. But it's just been coming up a lot lately with the people that I'm speaking with. So I figured I would share with you my money story. And, don't make it so significant. Don't let that 6 or 7-year-old run your money life today. Okay, guys, you got this. So let me know, reach out to me. If you're not in my group, Your Virtual Advisors, definitely jump into that group. It's super cool. We talk about money. We're going to be doing a bunch of neat things this month. So if you're not already in, go to Your Virtual Advisors and ask to join my financial Facebook group. Okay, guys, have a great evening. Love you, and we'll see you soon. Bye.